Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to Beyond the Comic Book. I'm Ed, and today we're going to talk about the Disney Plus MCU shows that are currently streaming. Now, I'm going to list these in order from great to greatest, and the reason why I say that is because I love all of them. I think all of them are great, but some are better than others. So let's get started. At number 5, I have What If. Now, this series was great, but not consistent. I don't feel like it was really connected to the MCU, or could have possibly been. In particular, the Party Thor episode. Thor and his mother seemed like they were way out of character, and it's hard for me to believe that just the absence of Loki would make the two of them behave the way that they did and have their demeanors or their personalities to change that drastically just because Loki was not in their lives. So I don't feel like Party Thor was a really good one, and plus it was kind of silly. So I like that one, but I don't think that I'll be going back to watch that a second time. Now, Captain Carter and the Dark Doctor Strange, now they seem the most like the MCU. Those were actually my two favorites, and I'm looking forward to seeing those two in the Multiverse of Madness. Hopefully we'll get them in live action. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Now, at number 4, I have Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, this was an awesome show. I have nothing really negative to say about it. I had a tough time choosing between number 3 and 4 on my list, but I just had to choose the one that I enjoyed just a little bit more. Now, the rivalry between Sam and Bucky, it continued from Civil War, and they actually took it to new heights. It was really, really funny, and they had great chemistry with each other, I believe. And I also like the social component that was written into the show. Now, regardless to whether or not we all feel that everyone is treated equally in this world, that's just simply not true. And I like the fact that Falcon and the Winter Soldier touched on that with regard to Mr. Bradley, the first Captain America, who just happens to be black. He was mistreated, and he was jailed for the rest of his life. But I do like how Mr. Bradley finally came to be recognized. He was a broken man. He had no confidence in the government. He had no confidence in anyone for that matter. So I believe that Sam was able to open up his eyes and help him see that there was an opportunity for healing, and that he was also able to get him into the Captain America Museum, which it looked like it really, really touched Mr. Bradley. So yeah, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, I have them at number 4. I enjoyed them, but my number 1 through 3, I just enjoyed those a little bit better. Now at number 3, I have Hawkeye. I absolutely love this show. But out of the top 3, Hawkeye moved a little bit more slowly at times. But the thing that put this show above Falcon and the Winter Soldier, in my opinion, was the interaction between Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova. They were perfect together. Now, I talked about how Sam and Bucky had a lot of chemistry, but Kate Bishop and Yelena Belova, their chemistry was just off the chart. They had just the right mix, in my opinion, they had just the right mix of serious and funny. And the appearance of Kingpin also took this series up a notch. It was a great bonus. Now, lots of people said that he seemed to be a little bit too tame when you compare it to the Netflix series of Daredevil. They said that he seemed a little bit too tame, but in my opinion, he was actually a little more OP in my opinion. I mean, it actually seemed like he might have gotten juiced up on something because he was hit with a car, he was blown up. All of this happened, and the man was still coming. So I really, really like that. I also like how the writers highlighted all the things that Clint Barton had to go through. I mean, this man struggled, and he didn't really get a whole lot of recognition within the Avengers. So the sacrifice that he had to make with his family and not being with his kids and getting hurt all the time. I mean, this guy really put his best foot forward, and that's the reason why he inspired Kate Bishop to become Hawkeye. I mean, that opening scene to me was a little bit emotional because, you know, she's standing there, a little girl looking out on all of the destruction in New York, only to look up and see an unpowered human jumping off of buildings and fighting as hard as he can to save New York. That to me was very emotional, very well written, and that also helped me to put Hawkeye in the number 3 spot on my list. Now at number 2, I have Loki. This show was awesome on so many levels. It was great to look at the effects of the Avengers Endgame and how every choice had consequences that were ultimately controlled by Kang the Conqueror. Now the introduction of the TVA and the variants, they forever changed the MCU. There are so many possibilities that can be injected into the MCU just using the multiverse and the concept of the variants. Not to mention that Loki is a fan favorite and a personal favorite of mine as well. His relationship with Sylvie was a little bit weird to me at first, but after I put all of that out of my head and just looked at the story for what it was actually a great story plot. Also, going back in time to remind us of how much Loki, the character, has grown and how much he has grown on us was also one of the best parts of the story, in my opinion. But most of all, it was this show that made it possible for Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland to share the big screen in Spider-Man No Way Home. Now remember, the multiverse was actually unleashed in the final episode of the Loki series. So all in all, Loki was top notch. I just enjoyed my number 1 pick a little bit more. But I am looking forward to season 2 of Loki because I think it is going to be a great experience. And finally, at number 1, of course, I have WandaVision. Now this show was groundbreaking. It flipped reality on its head so much in the first 3 episodes that I heard that many people turned it off only to come back and watch after hearing all the rumors of what they had missed and how great the show was. I mean, for someone's emotions to be manifested in real life and displayed as a TV show genre was brilliant. I mean, this show was basically dealing with Wanda's mental illness while trying to come to grips with Vision's death in Avengers Infinity War. I mean, mental illness is real and it doesn't get enough attention. Everyone deals with it in their own way and everyone deals with it differently. But Wanda just happens to have the power to make changes to her reality. But what she didn't think about was how that would affect the people around her, the people in the real world. Now, this show also officially introduced magic into the MCU and expanded the universe by revealing Nexus beings who have the power, and so much power, that they can actually affect multiple realities and multiple universes. So that's my ranking list of the Disney Plus MCU shows that are currently streaming. Let me know down in the comments if you like the order that I put it in or what order you would have put it in. Also, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and give this video a like so that my videos can reach other people. I really appreciate you. This is Ed, and thank you for watching Beyond the Comic Book, and I'll see you next time.